Hey friends, it's Blaine at Applied Leadership Partners, and I was thinking a lot this morning about my calendar. I have a ton of work travel coming up here, and I've had quite a bit over the last few weeks, and admittedly I get to a point where I start to resent a little bit of the travel because I don't like being away from home. I feel guilty traveling a lot and being away from the family, and candidly traveling a lot can certainly take it out of you. And for those of you that have done a lot of travel, you know that airports and hotels and conferences and stuff can take a toll on you physically and mentally. Then I had the realization that we're in the business of leadership development, and for people to invite us to come out and speak with their team or do a workshop or facilitate an important session is an incredible privilege. And so I've worked really hard to reorient myself a bit this morning, to not think about these things as have-tos but get-tos. And that's something I come back to a lot with a lot of life's things. But another thing I was thinking about here was just the tension involved in having to travel for work and wanting to be home with the family and feeling that tension. And one of the things I've done over time is to try to come up with some perfectly optimal solution that will relieve that tension, that will just kind of make things perfect and really thread the needle on all fronts. And I've had a realization over the last year or two that maybe you'll find helpful, and it's this. There is no way to fully relieve that tension and make it go away. That is not what life is about, I don't think. I think what we can do, and what I challenge myself to do, is to manage that tension in a healthy way, to make sure that the various aspects of my life are kind of pulling appropriately in their respective direction and trying to keep me somewhat in the middle of the target and not letting one override all the others. But the idea that I don't want to feel that strain anymore and I can just relieve this tension and nail it and set my life up perfectly to where that never exists at home with my family, with work, etc. It's just never going to be that way. And so I have a lot more peace, and I find myself more quickly being able to get back into that get-to mentality when I realize that this is a tension that's a privilege for me to manage, and it's not some sort of optimization problem that I can just make go away. So anyway, kind of an esoteric thing, but it's been on my mind a lot lately. I feel like many of you probably are in a similar headspace, and so I thought I'd share. Let me know what you think. If you have any great tips on how to travel well and manage that, then I'd love to hear those too.